Hello students, I am here especially for standard 12 students wherein I'll be discussing about the board exam, HSC board exam, and the weightage has already been discussed. How to study is something which is very important. How do you approach your board exams? And certain points will be covered. So just a brief up wherein I had made a special video some time back about the weightage of the chapters. So first, let me go through this, the weightage of marks. I had told you all that the first chapter weightage is 12 marks. The fourth chapter, primary economic activities, is also 12 marks. Secondary economic activities, that's the fifth chapter, is 12 marks. The tertiary activities is 10 marks. Then regional and regional development is 10 marks. The remaining three are of 8 marks. That is population 2, 8 marks, human settlements 8 marks, and geography, nature and scope 8 marks. Now, according to the weightage, you all are going to give more of your attention to the lessons which are in that order. Now, students, before I start with discussing how you have to present your paper, writing, and all of that management, first let me begin with an affirmation that basically the class 12th exam is your life's easiest exam. You have to tell yourself this. This is an affirmation you're going to make yourself aware of. It is your life's easiest exam in which you will score the best marks of your life. What happens is, students, society has created a negative pressure about this 12th standard exams, in which we have become victims through fear, and there is nothing to fear or worry about. Basically, students, there is nothing, absolutely nothing to worry or fear about. You are not going to get yourself being a victim towards all these negative pressures which is created in and around society, whether it's with any of your relations. So basically, I would start off with hard work with smart work will lead you to good scores in this exam. And the situation right now is you all are very well aware of. You all have never approached your exams in such a manner with the pressures which are around. So how do you keep yourself positive? First and foremost thing is be positive, completely positive. You don't have to worry about anything at all. As far as you have worked hard, you worked smartly, you're going to get good scores. Be very honest towards your education. This is your exam period wherein your commitment towards this is very important. First thing, what we're going to talk about is I would talk to you all about your syllabus and this. Now, as I discussed about the syllabus and resources, what is it basically? You all are referring to some guides, reliable target studies, or some other notes, or from some tuition classes you all must be attending, all of that. For me personally, the text is the king. All your knowledge, the text is the king, and all the soldiers are these reference books. These reference books are definitely from your text. I have always told you all in my lectures very well that please read the text, understand each and every topic, subtopic, how are they interlinked, get some more knowledge about it. I all have seen in my videos, I have given you all extra knowledge, extra information regarding a lot of topics which I don't need to. But for me, it is very important for you all to know how deeply can we go into one topic. It should be very clear. Now, y'all are studying from y'all will be studying from target study, y'all will be studying from reliable, then you'll again someone tells you guides, you'll refer to guides. Kindly do not do that. You should be very clear from where you are going to study. I know of many people, many students who are just referring to their textbooks, who have, it's like a Xerox in their mind. They can have interpretation of their own answers and correct answers, which are logically, technically very correct. So first and foremost point, students, is you should be clear from where you're going to study. Now, if I give you an example of population 1, which carries 12 marks, you're going to study from the text, study from their text. You make your own notes, stick to that. Don't go by what others are going with. If you're well aware of it, please go ahead with that. No referring to 10 books. That's what I mean to say. If you refer to 10 books for one subject, you'll land nowhere, according to me. Now over here, you'll have seen another thing what I have been told that, ma'am, can we do we have some reference papers, last year's question paper? See, now this is a new syllabus this year we had. So there is no reference papers. Yes, there were papers, topics which were there last year also, which could be similar on similar grounds. You just appear to it in such a way that yours is first exam, you are going to set an example for it. So, if at all, first of all, for me, the back exercises you need to be thorough with, completely thorough with the question answers, the objectives, the MCQs, everything. For me, knowing and understanding the lesson is something very important. After reading the lesson, you make your small, many students have small these habits where they make these small flashcards, or they make some pointers, push up notes, they just have them. That's another way to study. You know, it's these are reminders. You're just going through it, you're just skimming through your syllabus. That is very important. Then question papers, in a way, yes, we know about the question papers, how they are going to come across, and in your prelims you'll have seen how is it going to be set. So that I will be coming about in some time. But this is something very important. Don't refer to 10 books because it will land you nowhere. You have to be clear where you're going to, from where you're going to study. Textbook is the king for me. Okay. Second thing, right now, you all are in such an environment which is the situation is like very tense, as in many people have their own opinions. So for me right now, it is, you know, you all need to control your environment. It's very important, students. Now, control your environment, what does that mean, students? Basically, who are allowed now in this period of time and who are not allowed, whether it's friends, what is allowed and what is not allowed. You must be having younger siblings and all, keep them away. Parents, if there is something which something is bothering you there, tell them that you're getting disturbed. You're basically the most important thing, mobiles. Now I'm not going to go in detail about mobiles and all, or television. That's a big distraction now. Now if you come out of distractions, you will have won half your battle very clearly. More so, the addiction towards your mobiles is going to distract you all even more, because you have a tendency to answer to each and every question your friends tell you. So for me, that is very important, that you all have to know very clearly that who is going to be allowed and not allowed, whether it's your friends, your mobile, your television, relatives, your siblings, all of those at this point of time. You have to draw your line. So these are those distractions. And it's all basically, if your mind is distracted with your mobile, you're not going to be able to understand what your concentration is basically negligible, because it's distracted. So create a barrier where you can say that all things are surrounding you only. You have to be self-centered. All things should be self-centered around you. For me, students, when I'm talking about syllabus and revision, now revision for me is not something that here basically we have a very wrong goal. Our goal here is not to complete our syllabus, but revision. see to it that I would say this for all subjects also. See to it that how many times you have revised. We now here we are not talking about syllabus at all. How many times? Ideally, 3 times your revision should be done or should have been done before the exams. So that is the best way to judge yourself. And it should be a legitimate revision. When I talk about legitimate revision, you can't say that I'm sitting for hours locked into my room with my book, and usually you all are wandering around because you get all of a sudden you're just going through your reading through your material and you go into your dreams. I would say my revision basically wherein science, maths, geography, practice, all of those, history, dates, English compositions, or for that matter, any subject you may take, you need to do it legitimately, as in use your revise with your hands, practice it, certain things solve with your hands. It's basically when your hand is busy writing, your mind is also focused. So you stay focused that way. Now coming to certain other things wherein I wanted to tell you all about this. Complete the chain and rewrite in your answer paper. Now I will show you all each of these how they have to be written. I have picked a few answer sheets specifically for these reasons. This is a way, or this is the way to write your answers. Now, for me, very important is how you write your answers, wherein I've told you all, as most of you all, I have personally mailed you all telling you all that how is it going to be when you all are going to write your answers. So before I go to these, I'm going to give you all a gist of all that. Now, first, let me tell you about, we are going to get questions based on geographical reasons. Now, your geographical reasons are how many marks, students? 12 marks. You have to attempt how many? 4. So each geographical reason is how many marks, students? That is 3 marks. Each geographical reason is 3 marks because you're going to attempt 4. So now for each geographical reason, if you all are going to write point wise, you should at least write 6 points. For give geographical reasons, write 6 points because it carries 12 marks. You will be given 6 questions out of which you will be attempting 4. So each geographical reason is for 3 marks. For 3 marks, you are going to write 6 points. Then we move on to the differentiate between. Now, what is the meaning of differentiate between? How do we differentiate between? Differentiate between, there are the differentiate between or distinguish between carries 9 marks. So each difference is going to be of 3 marks. So when it is 3 marks, a minimum of 3 points is very important. A minimum of 3 points, and the fourth one can be an example. A fourth one anywhere possible can be an example. Now, when you all write give reasons, I wanted to tell you all one more thing as I just missed out on that. When you all write give reasons, write point wise and in an orderly fashion, as in preferable P would be the most important point should come first. The give reasons, and give reasons when you are writing 6 points for 3 marks, you all are going to write 6 points. If you all write 6 points or 5 points, okay, you all are going to write the most important point first. Now, difference between when I have always known one thing, that when we write distinguish between, suppose if it is for 2 marks, you all will write 4 points. So in that you all are going to add your examples. So students, where differentiate is written, you all are going to basically write last point should be, if you all can give examples, it's very good. It gives a very good impression to the examiner. Now, wherein distinguish between is concerned, I have noticed in most of your submissions, you all have not even bothered to draw a column in between with a pencil and using a ruler. This is something which is expected. This is mandatory. This is very important. How can you all write a distinguish or a difference between without dividing it with a ruler and making a column? And you all are writing that also, you all are writing in those box or blocks, you all are writing with pen. It doesn't make sense. Then when I tell you all write point wise, point 1, point 2, point 3, as in 3, third distinguish, number them. That's what I mean to say. Number them. Or put your arrows, draw those arrows so neatly in your margin that it makes a big difference. See, when I'm going to show you all some slides, you all will realize what I exactly mean. Then comes your write short notes. Now your short notes, basically, when we talk about short notes, what are those short notes? Short notes are of 12 marks. Short notes is 12 marks. You have to attempt any 3, means each short note is 4 marks. Each short note is 4 marks. When it is 4 marks, again I would suggest write 6 points, minimum 6 points. Minimum 6 points for your short notes. So it's going to help you all as in to score better marks. Then there are certain questions which are given in your exam. Now read the questions twice, students, where the questions are concerned. How do you basically, I spoke to you about reference books till now. You can refer to any books, as I said. I'm to just give you all a summary. Whatever reference book, but stick to that book. Weightage I have already discussed. How to study difficult question papers and all of that I told you all. Question papers is not there right now. You all can refer to last year's papers, last 5 years, not 10 years, last 5 years. If at all you all just want to know that what sort of questions come in geography, that's it, nothing beyond that. So I repeat, not 5 years, not 10 years, 5 years papers. Paper pattern also I had discussed in my previous this. Now I am on how to write point wise your answers. So first of all, before I tell you all point wise, I told you all for give reasons and distinguish how to write it. I'm going to show you all some slides. Follow those. Try to inculcate those kind of ways and techniques into your presentations. So that is also very important. Now coming to the questions. Now you all will get different questions. Now students, for me, read the questions twice. Basically read the questions twice. Notice the command word at the beginning of every question. Basically there are certain command words, as in you can say distinguish is different from list. So those were the keywords. On that grounds only you're going to make your answering easy for yourselves. Describe is different from give advantages of. Now there are certain things. Then another question which came up to me was, ma'am, there are some questions which are out of syllabus. So do we attempt it or we don't attempt it? No, students, attempt those questions. Now there's one strong reason for me to tell you attempt those questions. Why? Read the question twice. Have your own understanding. There would be a particular keyword which you could be identifying it with, and you can elaborate on that. Okay. Now, why do you attempt a question which is sometimes out of syllabus? Because now imagine the examiner's plight, the teacher who's going to correct your paper, she's going to get n number of papers. So what could be the positive thing over here is the examiner basically gives marks to those students who have attempted it. So you will not get negative marking, because if you leave it blank, students, in your prelim papers, most of you have left it blank, which is very, very wrong. Don't leave it blank. Give it an answer, give it a thought, make an attempt. So for me, definitely According to me, the examiners give marks to those students who have attempted it. So here this point also gets cleared. Now when I talk about the map work, before I go to the map work, let us understand the how is the presentation to be done. Now see this particular student, how has she answered her assertion and reasoning? Look at the margin space. Look at the space between her handwriting. See students, handwriting is a major put off. The biggest put off. Imagine a teacher's situation wherein she's getting thousands of answer sheets, and all of a sudden she finds such a good handwriting. She's charged up, or he is charged up, wherein he feels or she feels that yes, this child deserves some more marks because of good handwriting and presentation skills, because the teacher feels like getting deep into it and giving marks for that neatness. I have, most of you all have got from me these messages wherein I have personally emailed you all and said that your good work, it's real good work. So look at this way of reasoning. Look at the geographical reasons. How has she done? She's written points, margin, in the margin. She's stuck to the line. She starts from the line where the margin is. Look at this. Now, she's drawn lines basically. He or she, I am not sure. I'm just saying he or she, whatever. She or he, whatever. At the end of every question, draw lines. Now, why do you need to draw lines at the end of every question? So that your teacher knows that this is the end to that particular question. So draw lines at the end of that question. Second, the third most common question what I have been asked is, ma'am, have we to answer the paper in the order given? Yes, students, yes, yes, yes. Again, some students during the prelim papers, what I was going through and checking, what you all have exactly done is question number 1, question number 1, A, B, C, D is not attempted. You all have gone to C, question number 3, then you all have attempted question number 5. No, it's a wrong thing. Answer your paper in the order asked for. Attempt questions in such a manner which have been asked for. Leave some lines. Go to the next question. Don't waste your time. So that is something which is very important. Now see this distinguished between, she's written, how has she written that way? You can see the handwriting. How is it being marked? 1, 2, 3, 4. The column is being made between the two. Neatness, very easy to read and understand. There is no irritability while reading a answer like this. Yes, now mark on the following maps. When we talk about mark on the following maps, this particular student has marked also in the maps, on the maps, as well as written the answers like this. Double underline it. It gives a very good impression. These are those graphs which she had to write. So this is another way of writing your answer. See, after every question, you need to draw lines. So you can draw double lines or single lines to show that I have gone to the next section. Now this particular person also, look at the diagrams which I have told you all. Most of you, I have really not appreciated that you all have drawn diagrams using pens. You all can write in those boxes with pens. But when you all are drawing, students, draw it with pencils. Completely with pencils. Very easy to understand. The main topic, write in capital letters. Skills of a geographer, here it's highlighted wherein use of capital letters is there. One more thing, students, what I have seen, y'all have basically not some of y'all, the percentage is quite less, but yes, please write with one pen. Not if you all are using black pen, throughout black pen. If you're using a blue pen, throughout blue pen. Without black and blue, you're not going to use another third pen. Please use gel pens. Good quality gel pens that doesn't get smudged. Don't use light gel pens because it's very difficult for the examiner to understand. Another thing, do not use SMS or short forms while writing your answers. Do not use SMS or short forms while writing your answers. Use technical words where needed, logical words where needed. Leave spaces. Look at this also, one more sample. Leave spaces between two words for the examiner to understand. Look at the diagrams, how it has been drawn, how it has been labeled. Now this is a map. Now this particular map, the index, how is it written? How are those bifurcations given? When you all are doing your maps also, that is also very important. I'm going to tell you all what you all can do in your maps more so. Now, if you all see this, what I had shown you all skills of geography in the previous diagram, which one looks more pleasing? Never draw diagrams like this. Your arrow should never be with pen. It should always be with pencil. There should be straight lines using a ruler. Look at the pen quality. Look at the color, the difference in the color of the pens. Though it's with blue, but look at the shades of blue. This is a put off. So you'll have to be very careful with all of these things. Now, as I told you all, when I'm going to go through these some slides, I'll be showing you all. Now distinguish. What are you all showing the examiner? That you all have no time to draw it with a pencil or a ruler? There should be time management. Now when I show you all this, how do you manage your time? When you all are going through the questions, as you all are done with questions, put a tick. Tick those questions which you all have attempted. Put a tick so you don't have to bother. If you are stuck with certain questions, initially you all start off writing very beautifully. Then there is time limitation. Then you all start writing very badly towards the end. So don't do that. Manage your time. Your objectives, attempt, that should take least amount of time, because answer in detail, geographical reasons, distinguish, short notes take a lot of your time. So you have to divide your time in such a way wherein you can keep most of your time. 10 to 15 minutes, half an hour is more than sufficient for your objectives. Rest all, you should have ample amount of time to draw, label, maps, answer in detail, all of that, because it's a 3-hour paper. 2.5-hour paper is for all of these things. Now here the student has drawn with a pen and labeled also, in the boxes also written with pen. Yes, you can write that, but you can't draw with those boxes also with the pen. Doesn't make sense. Now this, I kept repeating that kindly do not use pencils, use colored pencils to make it look attractive, to make it look stand out. So for map work also you'll have to be very careful. Now these are also one of few diagrams. This particular diagram, you all can draw diagrams within boxes. You all can label them neatly, label them with pen, using, when you arrow them, you point it out, you use a pencil. Look at this. This is also one more diagram which I really appreciated. It looks really neat and nice. See how is it written? Skills required of a geography to study geography. The topic is written in the center. Also the topic is written very neatly. Boxes are drawn with pencil. Arrows are drawn with pencil. Highlighted. Those arrows are highlighted and as well as neatly written inside. Now when I talk about question 7, wherein we had that answer in detail, Look at the way it has been written. Point wise, how is it segregated, how it is uh, explained to the examiner, how it has been elaborated. See these paragraph wise, capital letters, not moved from the margin an inch also. It's all in order, in line, not displaced. Handwriting consistency is there. So all of these factors make a lot of difference. Students, the first thing what your examiner is going to see when she or he opens the answer sheet is your handwriting. If it is your handwriting is not good, it's not well presented, underlining is not there, highlights are not there, topics are not underlined, the examiner is going to be put off in the very beginning. And then if your answers are not to the point, your marks get cut rapidly. So you'll have to understand this very well. Now look at these diagrams. Can we really think, can I give as an examiner some marks to these diagrams? And these are scoring. So you all could have worked better. Now this particular student has drawn everything with a pen. No, not acceptable. Now coming to cancellations. Now if you see in my this sheet, cancellations, I have written which is a particular way to cancel it. The first way of cancelling is a wrong way. The second way is the correct way to cancel it. Okay, you can just cut a line through that whole sentence. That's it. You don't need to scribble. You don't need to scribble at all. Now map work, as I said, use of color pencils better. No writing in pen on maps. I've told you all this. Fill up your index neatly and mark on your maps. What you are doing, you are just marking on your maps, but you are not writing it again. That this marking or this special marking stands for what. So both ways, whether it's the index or filling up on the maps, you have to do that. Another very important thing, when you are doing your map work, you all should put the question number on your top left and circle it. How am I supposed to understand which question have you all attempted? The examiner sometimes doesn't understand that. So put your question on top left and circle it that this answer is for this particular question. Again, for drawing, as I said, only pencil should be used. Draw with rulers, no freehand. Your lines, if they are not straight, not acceptable. Label, you can label in boxes and write in pens in those boxes. That's what I told you all. Give a proper title to your drawings. You all need to give that. Now one more thing which I came across was complete the chain. Complete the chain is something which has to be written in tabular form. How have I drawn lines? You all can see I have drawn columns over here, A, B and C, and neatly in that you all are going to write. Complete the chain, again I repeat, has to be in columns and rows, neatly written, point wise, everything has to be that neat. See, this also distinguish between. Now as I said, mark and name the following on the outline of the map. Most of you all have missed out on this point where you all have written, you all have drawn on maps, you all have not labeled them, you all have written in pen, another big mistake. Some of you have not filled up the index, which is very important. And in your answer sheet also, students, you all have to mention it like this. You all should be mentioning it and underline it. So see how both ways you all have to work. You can't just give the map and leave it wherein your index is filled, you've done your map and you've not written anything in your answer sheet. You all need to do that. Look at this, another way of drawing. How neatly it has been done. See, when I tell you all about each sub point, how has it been underlined? Question number question number 2, answer in detail. Sorry, question number 7, answer in detail. how it has been underlined. So this is something you all need to know very well. Now when I told you all, I'm going to show you all identify, assertion, and this is another way of writing. You all can definitely leave lines after every answer, like both A and R are correct and R is the correct explanation of A. Then that student has written which answer has been selected. So this is a better way of writing. See the give reasons, how it has been written. Look at the handwriting, clarity, neatness, point wise, how lines have been drawn. After every question, lines have been drawn. And some of them have drawn lines on both sides. Margins also, they have drawn lines. Outside the margin, they have put their numbers. Silly mistakes you all are doing. Look at this, how you are supposed to do it. So that our examiner can understand with your points that okay, 4 points have already been written. According to that, see the example has been given in the end. So give examples. This creates a very good impression on the examiner that this child has put in extra efforts while presenting the paper and is in full consciousness when while attempting the paper. Now this is the last thing what I've come to is the maps. See, these are the colorful ways how it has been presented. Let your map look colorful, how the index has been filled up, how they have been written in order. So students, here I come to an end wherein I have told you all about how to manage your time, how to get a good score, how to think about your uh, study part, wherein how to present your papers, how to write, and the last 10 minutes. Last 10 minutes are something which you'll have to just keep it, where you just see through, you go through your spelling mistakes, you will read through your matter, where all you need to make some changes, you'll go through those, and you are done with the paper. Students, with this, I come to an end. As I started with an affirmation, please believe in yourselves. Don't fear anything. I have not met you all personally, but I am concerned. So I have thought of it as in you all will do really good, and just study hard, work smartly, revise your work, and have faith in yourself. Don't go around listening to people who don't matter to you or who will not matter to you in a month or so after that. So just keep your prayers, have faith, and best of luck, good wishes. God bless you. All of you will really do better, do best, and you all will give your best. Thank you, students.